interestingly, when I took up this Parvarish No Limit Child program, so I was coming from that mindset that, okay, what do I, being a parent of 16-year-old and 10-year-old, need to learn? And thankfully, in the very first session itself, we were set of 5 parents, and we were really, our myths were broken to that extent that we just opened our mindset from that standpoint that yes, even if there is nothing to learn, let me listen with very open mind. And when we got to the sex education topic, interestingly, just that single just that single icebreaker thing was thrown at us that, okay, what comes to your mind when you listen to this word sex? So it's not that I heard that icebreaker for the first time. I have heard that icebreaker in many conversations in corporate world as well. But there it is used more as a icebreaker and to just open the mindset of, gender stereotypes and all that stuff. But out in Parvarish session, like, it was not only an icebreaker for a parent, but also it opened my mindset on that, okay, yes, maybe I'm not seeing it as taboo, so let me just be present to it. And I was having only positive things to, listen and think about. But when all of us, like all 5 parents, shared their perspective, then I was like, just getting a view to all different windows. So my experience has been that it was not a taboo topic, at least for my conversation with my daughters, but it was not as open as I have it now in my head. And the way I have had conversation with my girls, like who at the point when I had conversation with them, who were at age 11 and 17. So because they were already at the age that one was just about to enter in the puberty and one is like, pretty much on that. So if I have to just, concisely put that conversation together, when I shared with them that, okay, how do different perspectives about sex, knowing about sex are important and on different age brackets, then they were also very open and they were, listening like this, okay, what mama need to share. And we even went through, all those simple things which they have learned in their school, like good touch, bad touch. And what stood out for me was that good and bad is just a label, but what is safe for you, what feels safe to you, and what is unsafe for you. And unsafe could be a touch, or uncomfortable could be just a stare that somebody is making at you. And that I really wish I would have told them at the age of 2 or 3, when they just started making social connections for the first time outside of family. And then we also did that seemingly simple but such a profound exercise, that all the places we visit, who you find as a most caring person in whose company you feel safe, and if there is anything that which is making you uncomfortable, can you find that person quickly? Because at that point in time, safety is more important than being courageous. So teaching them about the consequences of being safe first, then taking stand for anything, how important it is. That was also one great learning which my daughters got. And a third interesting aspect was, because my little one was just about to enter puberty and I was explaining the body parts in much detail than I would have otherwise explained. And we also spoke about not only female genital body parts, but also male genital body parts. And it was like, I was having very open conversation with her that, okay, yeah, this is the age. You might also feel attracted towards other gender, and that's what we call sexual orientation. So it's interesting that their questions were also, opening up. They were opening up, and their questions were more on curiosity based, rather than, okay, shall we ask, shall we not ask? That thing is now no more there. Otherwise, I have seen that puberty usually, like for me, for my elder daughter, that phase started after 12 and a half or 13. So she got her first periods even before she has turned 12. Now, if I would not have had that conversation earlier, it might have created a little of emotional overwhelm for her. And also, like, she has got a lot of pimples, and so because we had conversation about, what are the body changes you shall expect, and not everyone is same. So this has not at all, at all would not be the right word, because it has some way or other impacted her self-esteem, but at least the conversations have again lifted it back up. I think for the parents who still think that, if a child is around them always, that itself ensures that child is safe, that's really a big myth which need to be bursted for sure. Because, and the best age to have the conversation is, I would say, as early as possible, but obviously in an age proportionate way. When a child is young, then educate them about sex pretty much as a body science only, that these are also body parts. Why we are shying away of talking about one body part over other, right? And it's like, even in our NCRE books or all those books, I have seen that, there are all body parts with those arrows mentioned out there, and the private parts are a kind of, bottoms. What is this bottoms? Bottoms is not a body part for sure. So I think for those parents, it would be that, yes, staying in that zone of that our child is safe, that is the best place we want ourselves to be. And to be at that space, we have to first get out of our comfort zone and see that, yes, this education need to be provided by design, not by default. Because irrespective of children staying at home, they are going to get this education exposure from their friends, from social media, from television, from Netflix. They have multiple channels open, and it is not only about physically being hurt, it is more than that, about psychologically growing up scarred from that sense. Yeah.